Yes, my name is Tim St. Michel. I want to make a motion. I move that the town accept the provisions of Chapter 44, 53F and 1F of the Massachusetts General Laws for the purpose of establishing a separate account for the operation of the town beaches, to be known and classified as the Town Beaches Enterprise Fund. Such account shall be maintained by the treasurer, and all receipts, revenues, and funds from any source derived from all activities of the Town Beaches Enterprise shall be deposited in such separate account to be effective beginning in fiscal year 2013.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. May I have the Finance Committee's recommendation?
The Finance Committee recommends unanimously not to support this article.
My name is Tim St. Michel, and I am chairman of your Beach Committee. I have been on the Beach Committee for 8.5 years, and because of the budget that we work under, the only major improvement has been new gates at Cherry and Webb Beach at a cost of $1,600. You divide that amount by 8.5 years, it comes out to about 51 cents per day that Westport has spent to improve our beaches. Approximately 3 years ago, the Board of Selectmen raised the fees on beach passes by 50%, from $20 to $30, and seniors from $10 to $15. This was done without consulting with the Beach Committee. Then, we were told to decrease our budget by 10%, which we did. Our budget is $34,390, of which $30,000 is allocated for paying our lifeguards. The other $4,390 is to pay for printing of the beach passes, porta-johns, dumpsters, uniforms and clothing for the lifeguards, vehicle maintenance and repairs, signage, life-saving equipment, etc., etc. Revenue of the beach passes sold in 2010 was $77,565. Minus our budget of $34,390, there is $43,000. What happens to that money? It surely is not going back to those folks who purchased beach passes, because I do not see any improvement to our beaches since I moved to Westport 43 years ago. The only change that I see is the color of the beach pass. Everything is the same. Each beach, all 1,800 feet of it, is the same, if not worse. Folks cannot access each beach because of all that color. They can't even do it with the assistance of a Sherpa guide. Our so-called young families with little children beach across the street from Cherry and Webb Beach next to Tripp's Boatyard has not changed at all. Now we have an answer to make major improvements. A report of the Massachusetts Barrier Beach Task Force says on page 22 in big block letters, and I quote, "Barrier beach revenues, however, should not be used to subsidize the general fund." I'm going to repeat that. Barrier beach revenues, however, should not be used to subsidize the general fund. The task force recommends that revenues generated from entrance and beach fees be dedicated to beach and facilities maintenance and improvement and go to an enterprise fund. An enterprise fund is a good thing for Westport. With that extra $43,000, we could make our beaches better. We put a flyer out on vehicles which showed a beach pass and asked them, "What do you want?" The vast majority said, one, a boardwalk to Cherry and Webb Beach from our parking lot. Benches along the way for rest and also putting on your shoes. And this was a biggie, a permanent compost toilet close to the beach. This would eliminate those dreaded porta-johns. This would also eliminate using the dunes for a toilet instead of walking back to the parking lot. A pavilion-type structure across the street to that little children beach, and it'd be equipped with picnic tables and shade for the little ones. Each beach will be a beach again. It is at best right now just an overlook. Why can't we have a permanent ramp installed for access by everyone? We have been in close contact with Elaine Ostroff and the American Disabilities Act on better access, such as a Mobi-Mat for folks with wheelchairs. The bucket list could go on and on. Your beach committee meets every month of the year. We do not go into hibernation during the winter months. In closing, I was given a copy of the minutes of a previous beach committee meeting. And it talked about beach improvements and boardwalks and porta-johns and everything else. And it was signed by Ann Shadney, beach committee chairman, and it is dated November 26, 1979. That was 32 years ago. And she is still waiting. Please vote for this enterprise fund. After all, it is the people's money. Thank you very much. Mr. Webb.
That's a hard act to follow. Jack DeVere, former member of the Beach Committee, and I want to relate a story that happened there and urge you to support the passage of this. When I was on the Beach Committee, we had decided that the female lifeguards who presently wear two-piece bathing suits should wear single-piece bathing suits so that they wouldn't have any problems if, in fact, they had to do a rescue. We were told by the female lifeguard there that we have to wear two-piece suits so that we can go to the bathroom. And none of them go out to the porta-john because it's usually a mess. They go in the sand dunes, as do most of you people here. So please, support this. Let the Beach Committee make some long overdue changes to what should be
The
done.
Finance Committee is opposed to diverting the funds into an enterprise fund intended entirely for the beach. And the reason are quite simple, I'm afraid. This would be a permanent doubling of the current budget for the beach. There would be a roughly $43,000 addition to the budget every year if these funds were diverted. Over 10 years, that's $434,000, according to the figures mentioned earlier. And while it might be nice for the beach, the town, as we all know, is scraping to find the money to pay for many other expenses. Last year, we were trying to avoid laying off a fireman because the result of that would have been potentially the loss of one of the ambulances.